Fen-Phen was the 90s shortcut to effortless weight loss, a mix of fenfluramine and phentermine that promised to shrink your appetite and speed up fat burning all at once. Diet clinics were packed with people eager to pop a pill and skip the salad. But while Fen-Phen did work, it worked a little too hard on your heart. It didn't just help you drop pounds, it quietly wrecked heart valves, leaving users with a serious trade-off: thin body, broken heart, literally. By 1997, reports of pulmonary hypertension and heart disease skyrocketed, and the FDA pulled the drug from shelves. The lesson here? If a pill claims to melt fat without effort, check what else it might melt, like your heart's plumbing. Fast weight loss isn't worth an unplanned trip to the cardiologist. Some shortcuts just lead straight to the hospital. Ephedra, Ma Huang. Wanna lose weight and feel like you're being chased by a tiger 24/7? That was Ephedra's vibe. This ancient Chinese herb crashed into 90s diet culture as a miracle fat burner, hyped for its ability to crush appetite and jack up energy. But under the hood, it was chaos. Your heart raced, your hands shook, and your blood pressure skyrocketed, even while doing nothing. Sure, people dropped pounds, but some also dropped dead. Heart attacks, strokes, fatal arrhythmias, all in the name of squeezing into skinny jeans. By 2004, after mounting reports of deaths and serious side effects, the FDA finally banned it from dietary supplements. Lesson here: when a supplement makes your resting heart rate feel like you're mid-sprint, that's a red flag. Natural isn't always safe. It's just a marketing label. Your heart doesn't care where the danger comes from. Sibutramine, Meridia, didn't arrive with the wild, jittery energy of Ephedra. It was the quiet professional of diet pills. Marketed as a sleek prescription appetite suppressant, it promised subtle weight loss by tweaking brain chemistry. But behind the calm packaging, serious cardiovascular risks. It raised blood pressure, increased heart rate, and pushed people, especially those already overweight, closer to heart attacks and strokes. By 2010, enough red flags piled up that the FDA pulled Sibutramine, Meridia, from the shelves entirely. The catch? For all that risk, the actual weight loss was modest. Most people lost less than 10 pounds before they needed a cardiologist. Moral of the story: if the fine print on your diet pill reads like a cardiology textbook, that's your cue to skip it. Safe, sustainable fat loss is slow, and no pill fixes what lifestyle does better. DNP 2.4 dinitrophenol is the scariest one on the list. Not a pharmaceutical, but literally an industrial chemical. Originally used in explosives and manufacturing, someone thought, hey, maybe this can melt body fat too. And it did. By turning your metabolism into an out-of-control furnace, users burned calories fast, but also risked burning up from the inside out. The problem: DNP uncouples energy production so intensely that your body temperature can spike uncontrollably. Fatal overheating, organ failure, and death followed in too many cases. The FDA banned it way back in 1938, but thanks to shady online markets, it still reappears today. Here's the rule: if your diet aid comes from the same shelf as industrial pesticides and explosives, maybe reconsider. There's no abs worth dying for. And with DNP, the only thing guaranteed to melt might be you. Clenbuterol was never meant for humans. This stuff is for horses. Literally, it's a bronchodilator for sick horses. But that didn't stop desperate dieters and gym bros from saying, if it works for a racehorse, it'll work for me. And oh boy, it worked. Fast fat loss, shaky hands, sweaty palms, pounding heart. You know, all the signs that your body is screaming, please stop this immediately. Clen cranked metabolism so hard that users felt like they were sprinting while sitting perfectly still. But it also brought tremors, arrhythmias, and the occasional trip to the ER. Not approved for human use anywhere for weight loss, but people kept buying it online like it was candy for bodybuilders. Here's a tip: when your diet aid comes from the veterinarian's shelf next to the horse tranquilizers, maybe reconsider. Burn fat? Sure. Burn your heart out too? Also yes. Rimonabant Acomplia was pitched as the ultimate kill-your-cravings pill. It blocked cannabinoid receptors so you'd stop snacking like a stoner at midnight. Sounds clever, right? Except those same receptors that control your hunger? Yeah, they also help keep your mood stable. So while your appetite disappeared, so did your happiness, motivation, and for some users, the will to live. Congrats! Thin, but clinically depressed. It didn't take long for doctors to realize they were handing out sadness in pill form. By 2008, Europe yanked it off shelves, and the FDA in the US didn't even bother approving it. The morale of this disaster. If your diet pill not only stops you from eating chips, but also makes you hate existence, maybe rethink the plan. Because skinny jeans don't look so great when you're lying on the couch too miserable to leave the house. Aminorex, rolled out in the 1960s like, hey, we made a new amphetamine cousin for dieting. What could go wrong, right? It did what all these pills do. Suppress appetite and keep you buzzing with unnatural energy. People loved it until they started mysteriously developing pulmonary hypertension, aka their lungs and heart basically giving up. And this wasn't a minor side effect. It was fatal. Doctors saw a wave of patients coming in with destroyed lungs, all for dropping a few pounds. By the early 70s, Aminorex was pulled from markets everywhere. Lesson: if a diet drug makes you breathe like a lifelong smoker after a sprint, it's probably not worth it. Sure, you might lose weight, but you're also risking your lungs waving a white flag before you even hit your goal weight. Skinny, but wheezing isn't exactly the dream body plan. Rainbow diet pills. Sound cute, right? Like something you'd find in a candy jar. But in the 1960s, these weren't colorful treats. They were a terrifying cocktail of amphetamines, laxatives, diuretics, thyroid hormones, and God knows what else, all packed into a single pill. Basically, they crammed every drug that might make you lose a pound into one capsule and called it a miracle. The result? People lost weight fast, mostly because they couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't sit still, and couldn't survive. Overdoses, heart attacks, and total system meltdowns followed. Shocking, right? Who could have guessed that mixing half a pharmacy together might end badly? By the late 60s, this chaotic diet solution was pulled off shelves everywhere. Reminder: when your diet pill comes in bright colors but has enough stimulants to power a rocket, maybe just eat a salad instead. Benzphetamine, Didrex, was one of those old-school diet pills that quietly snuck into medicine cabinets in the 1960s and 70s. A nice little prescription that looked innocent, but was actually an amphetamine cousin in disguise. It suppressed appetite, gave you loads of jittery energy, and left users wired like they downed 6 espressos, all before breakfast. The catch? Like its speedier relatives, benzphetamine came with side effects galore. Increased heart rate, insomnia, mood swings, and a charming little thing called dependence. People didn't just lose weight. They lost sleep, patience, and sometimes control altogether. Many countries have since restricted or banned it outright, while others still treat it as a tightly controlled substance. Here's a hint. If your diet pill makes you feel like you're about to clean your entire house at 3 a.m., maybe rethink your weight loss strategy. Weight loss shouldn't come with an accidental speed addiction. Phenylpropanolamine was a multitasker. Suppress appetite and clear your sinuses. So convenient, right? Why not fight hunger and a head cold at the same time? Well, because PPA also came with a bonus feature: stroke risk. Young, otherwise healthy women were dropping from hemorrhagic strokes after popping this stuff. Not exactly the weight loss outcome they signed up for. Before long, the FDA decided that fitting into skinny jeans wasn't worth a potential emergency brain scan, and they banned it from diet pills in 2000. But here's the best part. PPA was still in cold meds for a while. Imagine taking cold medicine and losing your appetite while casually risking a stroke. What a bargain. If your cold pill makes you too thin to get sick and might send you straight to the ER, maybe just stick with tea and soup instead. Mazindol, Sanorex, Darthimazinor hit the scene as yet another so-called solution for weight loss, acting like an appetite cop for your brain. Eat less, lose weight. Simple, right? But this cop came with a heavy hand. Side effects included headaches, heart palpitations, and, surprise, cardiac complications that weren't worth the couple of pounds people were losing. Eventually, several countries decided Mazindol's rap sheet was too long, and they pulled it from the shelves. Here's the kicker. Despite all the risks, the actual weight loss was pretty unimpressive. All that trouble, for maybe 5 or 6 pounds. If your diet plan requires rolling the dice on heart problems just to drop a few vanity pounds, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. And let's be honest, if a pill makes your body act like it's in a constant state of emergency, it probably isn't the quick fix it claims to be. Caffeine from khat isn't your average diet aid. This one comes straight from the leaves of the khat plant, chewed in parts of East Africa and the Middle East for a nice little buzz. So naturally, someone thought, hey, let's turn this into a weight loss pill. And yeah, chewing khat, or popping caffeine, does kill your appetite, but it also gives you dry mouth, the jitters, a racing heart, insomnia, and a solid chance of addiction. Best part? It leaves you wired but weirdly cranky, so you're thin, but also super irritable and awake at 3 a.m., picking fights with your toaster. Governments worldwide eventually caught on and started banning or restricting it. Here's a rule of thumb. If your diet pill makes you act like an over-caffeinated raccoon with a short temper, it might not be the healthy solution you're looking for. Phendimetrazine, Bontril, sounded sophisticated. Bontril even sounds like a classy French perfume. But nope, it's just another amphetamine-like pill designed to squash your appetite while quietly wrecking your nervous system. Pop one of these, and you'd feel a surge of jittery energy, zero desire for food, and an overwhelming urge to reorganize your entire house at midnight, all while your heart pounded like you were in a sprint. Sure, it helped people lose weight, but it also helped them develop insomnia, anxiety, dependence, and a growing list of cardiovascular problems. Eventually, many countries decided enough was enough and slapped restrictions or bans on it. Pro tip: if your miracle diet pill has you pacing your living room at 3 a.m., sweating profusely while alphabetizing your spice rack, you might want to try a safer plan, like a salad and a nap. Thyroid hormone. Now here's a bold diet hack. Taking thyroid hormones you don't actually need. The logic? Crank up your metabolism so high that your body just burns through fat. And maybe your sanity too. People abusing desiccated thyroid supplements weren't just losing weight. They were also sweating bullets, shaking, feeling anxious, and sometimes accidentally giving themselves hyperthyroidism. Doctors quickly caught on. This wasn't a clever shortcut. It was an invitation for heart palpitations, muscle loss, and bone thinning. Not exactly the wellness glow-up most people were hoping for. And let's be real, a fast metabolism sounds great until it feels like your engine's about to explode. So yes, you'll burn calories, but you'll also burn through your heart health, bone density, and probably all your sleep. If your diet plan requires hormone manipulation, it's probably time to step away from the supplement shelf. Tapeworm diet. Yes, this was actually a thing. People voluntarily swallowed pills containing live tapeworm larvae because apparently inviting a parasite to eat your food seemed easier than portion control. The pitch was simple. Let the worm do the dieting for you. No calorie counting, no willpower, just a helpful intestinal hitchhiker consuming your lunch. But here's what they didn't advertise: malnutrition, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and the possibility of that parasite migrating to your brain or eyes. Because why stop at your stomach when there's a whole body to ruin? This absurd idea was banned ages ago, for obvious reasons, but it still pops up in shady corners of the internet. Pro tip: if your diet involves literally infecting yourself with a parasite, that's a hard no. If the path to skinny jeans starts with swallowing a worm, it's officially time to close the laptop and go for a walk instead.